a well-dressed man there, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit more now, because London Fashion Week Men kicks off on Saturday, and as always at the turn of the year there's talk of which trends will appear and what styles will become popular in menswear. London is the renowned centre of design, with 5 of its fashion schools among the best rated in the world, and the UK fashion industry is worth over $30 billion, and it provides 800,000 jobs, making it Britain's largest creative industry. Well, with me, I'm pleased to say, is a master tailor, Andrew Ramroop, of London's famous Savile Row. He's a holder of many awards and a professor of fashion. Andrew Ramroop, thank you very much, and welcome to the studio with the wonderful things that you've brought in.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me.
You've brought in this wonderful creation, first of all, a Jimmy Beaumont suit. Just tell us a little bit why it's so special.
Jimmy, the Beaumont suit is named after the Beaumont Hotel. It was made especially to celebrate London Craft Week. And here you can see the stripes actually is the name Jimmy Beaumont, which is a fictitious character, certainly. But this shows the craftsmanship that we still employ in London. And
you've brought in possibly the most expensive fabric that you could work with. A suit made from this fabric, you say vicuna, is worth about £50,000.
Absolutely.
Why is it so precious?
Well, it's very rare. The vicuna, it's pure
vicuna.
Smooth. It's supplied by Savile and Savile Row. The cloth is very, very rare. The hair that is used, it's very difficult to acquire and to weave. And so you use the thinnest, longest hair and the most rarest. It comes from Peru and Argentina. It's now, the animal is now farmed, so you no longer have to cull the animal. At one time, it was illegal to actually wear or even be found with a vicuna cloth, but certainly not anymore. But it's still very difficult to actually weave and make and to acquire. You only need a small part of the animal, actually, to get as much hair to make a length of cloth.
So this is the very top end of the scale, but I mean, why would you say that every man needs a really top-notch suit, and what kind of investment would you say this is in life in general?
To be taken seriously in business, I think it's important that you present a sartorial image that makes you look as though you're serious about business. And so each man in business, and certainly if you want to project an image of being well-dressed, for drawing attention to yourself, for being stylish, perhaps, but not so much fashionable, but being stylish, I think it's important that we dress well.
Not everyone can afford $60,000 for a suit, but I mean, what would you say would suit most people? What is the difference between bespoke and made to measure as well?
Well, there is a huge difference between made to measure and bespoke. Bespoke are garments that are individually designed, hand-cut and hand-tailored to the highest standard attainable, for comfort, for style, for elegance, for an expression of individuality. Whereas the made-to-measure garments are really factory-made to your measurements, and you, of course, select the cloth. But there's an enormous difference between the two in the way in which it's structured. The foundations of fine tailoring, if you like, is actually adhered to in the traditional way as we do on Savile Row. So, you know, you'd find the factory-made garment and the handmade garment is genuinely made not in Europe or made in England. It's actually made in London and made on the premises of Savile Row.
And your own journey to Savile Row, you were 17, you'd just come from Trinidad, and you actually arrived in a suit you'd made yourself and knocked on as many doors as you could until someone gave you a chance.
Absolutely. You know, I'd heard of Savile Row coming from the foothills of the northern range of mountains in Trinidad. Savile Row, you know, is internationally known. And I had aspired to be a Savile Row tailor, you know, like a young athlete wanting to be in the Olympics. I wanted to be the best tailor in the world. And so I got on a boat, I sailed to Southampton without really knowing where I was going. In fact, I was sailing to Savile Row. I wasn't sailing to England or Europe. And of course, I got a job there on the strength of the suit that I was wearing at a company called Huntsman's. And then after I went on to the London College of Fashion, I did my degree. London College of Fashion, one of the leading fashion colleges in the world.
Andrew, we are out of time. I'm sorry, there's so much more to discuss, but thank you very much, and we wish you all the best for London Fashion Week Men, which begins tomorrow and lasts until Sunday. Thank you very much, Andrew Ramroop from Savile Row, one of the most successful master tailors there. If you want to get in touch on Twitter, I'm @KarenBBC. Back in a few minutes.